Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, once again, like it or not, it's showtime. Hi, guys. Welcome to your Friday. Welcome to your weekend. I'm here to ruin it for you with the worst last Epoch build ever. I have faith in me. Pardon me. It's predicated on ballista, because I don't know if I've played ballista. Exploding mines, they were a lot of fun. They were overpowered and got nerfed, but they were a lot of fun. And I'm going through the falconer tree, and they've got points for spears. I'm going, spears. I don't think I've ever done anything with spears. So that's it. That's my logic. Ballista, exploding mines, and spears. And lances, lots. Well, I think a normal seasonal character. And we're off. Just like that.
In the beginning.
Yeah. There was darkness. Blah, blah, blah. We know. I have a sword. And I can flurry with it.
I've never been this far from the slums. No looking back now. Time to leave Majelka behind me.
A piece of gold. And I've just doubled my fortune. At this rate, I'll own the world in an hour. He's come over all dead.
As he wishes to destroy us and steal Atera's legacy.
And good evening to whomever has joined me. Ow, that hurt. A short bow. Plus 12 bow damage. Well, we're going to be going melee, but in the short term, so to speak. Probably a little faster to just use the bows. Faster and safer. Ding 2. And now I have Shuriken. Oh. I didn't get any passive points. But I hit a level. Yes, I can evade. Thank you. Missed me. Didn't miss me that time. A little fire resistance is better than no fire resistance. Especially we're going up against mobs that have fire. So, yeah, I'll take that. This build's going to be bad. That's my prediction. Also my production. Let's go back to the sword then, now that we've got Shuriken. Just happened to be carrying boots. That was very thoughtful of them. Fat Body, my friend. Welcome to your weekend. Thank you, as always. 66 months. That is approximately 5.5 years. Thank you, sir. Domo arigato gozaimasu, Fat Body-san. Just like Order 66. And in honor of this, I will be playing the worst build ever. Well, so far. Missed me, stupid bird. Big plans for the weekend, I hope. I'm counting on you so that I can live vicariously through somebody. Watching Andor made it to the second season. Most of what I've heard has been very good. Today's Penny Arcade implies, well, actually states that they didn't like the first and second episodes. I haven't seen any of it, but I've heard nothing but good things in general about it. And until today, about the second season as well.
It was mine. They were like what good. Are you all good? Name come. Let me watch you fight.
I now have a point. Dexterity. You like it as much as The Mandalorian? I did see the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. Way back when, about 120 years ago, when I took my free month of Disney TV and watched all of the Marvel movies and Star Wars stuff that I hadn't seen. I'm about due to do that again. I've got a lot of catching up to do.
So much destruction. And for what?
Don't you like Star Wars, Empire in Return? You really like Rogue One? Yeah, I agree completely. Rogue One is the best Star Wars thing I have seen in a very long time, in years. But then it's only sort of incidentally a Star Wars movie. What it really is basically just a war movie. The kind of war movies, I watched when I was a kid. Where you've got, spies, your Guns of Navarone,
Where'd you learn to fight?
your Where Eagles Dare, that kind of stuff. So sort of a military / spy movie is what Rogue One was.
Quick, before it reaches town.
Thank you, Grail. I appreciate you occasionally freezing him solid. That's a cool move.
Well done. We're almost there. I'll see you ahead.
Exactly what Rogue One is, yeah. I mean, something like Where Eagles Dare is really just about the best sort of parallel, at least, from when I was growing up. Let's see, this, much slower on the attack. Nah, we don't need that. Broadsword calling Danny boy. Sorry, that is directly from Richard Burton in Where Eagles Dare.
Sounds like that. The keepers have a group, even then. It's these now. Speaking of, I must head there now. Feel free to look around. I'll see you shortly.
I mean, those were the kind of movies I loved as a kid. I loved those. I loved. There are a couple of movies Burt Lancaster did that traded off the fact that before he became an actor, he was a circus acrobat. For real. And The Flame and the Arrow and The Crimson Pirate. They were, swashbuckling movies and were just a blast. Andor is much more serious and adult than that stuff, obviously. So that's more in keeping with the war movies, from the 60s in particular. Let's see, shurikens. We're not gonna have another ranged thing until we get to ballistae, I think. So we will start by throwing points at shuriken. Chance to poison. Monocost. What is the current monocost on those? I don't even remember. 3? I think I'm going to be afraid of 3. Ha ha ha. Not really. Attack speed is good. Fizz resistance pen. That seems pretty good too. Let's see. Attack speed. We can go to there. Temporarily, at least, giving it a lightning tag and damage. That seems pretty okay. So, attack speed, one more point there, and then we'll give him a lightning tag and do more damage with him. Where Eagles Dare is an interesting one. Clint Eastwood plays an American Ranger who's been assigned to a British spy mission in Nazi Germany. And it's Clint in a way you don't usually see him, which is an almost sociopathic trained killer. Without compunction killing. That's not the sort of unexamined kind of murder you find or death you find in movies much anymore. Character basically has no real introspection about it. It's his duty. Fine. He'll kill him. And he does. Let's see if there's anything I can immediately start using. These boots. Dodge rating, dex. Oh, heck yes. Oh. Anything over here? Probably not. Oh, same boots. 3 dex. 3 dex. 5, 7. A little bit more movement speed. More dodge. Yep, these ones are just ever so slightly better. But ever so slightly better is better. And all the way out here, we set aside a bunch of stuff. We'll grab the Kestrel. As an extra 125 health is probably going to be helpful. And we set aside this spear so that we can use that at level 6. And then we set aside various other stuff that may or may not get used later. I was looking to use the Ravager's Dart, which turns Heartseeker into a throwing damage spell or skill. But the Heartseeker is so far out into Marksman. The Marksman tree is filled with lots of great nodes, and most of them are for bow only. So this is an item that actually doesn't make sense, I don't think, in that it takes Heartseeker and turns it into a thrown damage skill in a tree that doesn't do much with thrown weapons at all. Similar to why the Gelcor's Blast Knives, which I love, by the way. I've done the Gelcor's build a couple of times. And this randomly came in with about the most stupid possible affixes it could get. What it is, it allows you to use Detonating Arrow, which is the first skill you get from Marksman. But again, it has to be a Marksman tree. And if you're a Marksman, yeah, that's right. It's not even the first skill. It's the Marksman default skill that you get only if you're a Marksman. And therefore, you have to be a Marksman to use the Gelcor's Blast Knives, but they're a melee weapon that turn the Detonating Arrow into a melee attack. And the rest of the tree doesn't support it. You end up having to put most of your points to get any real benefit out of it into another tree. So it's a fun thing that doesn't really work. But I certainly have enjoyed the Gelcor's. But this was one of the things I wanted to try, and then I looked at the tree, and it just really doesn't support it. Which made me sad. I didn't cry, because, you know, I'm tough.
Let me get a good look at
I will join the Circle of Fortune. I didn't realize we were up to level 7 in Circle of Fortune.
Then you will not be surprised when I formally invite you to join the Circle of Fortune.
I have noticed we were dropping a lot more experimental items. Sadly, they're not really all that great anymore.
Grail was just telling one there. Both Bob, not you. You could they do this, and our alliance is secure.
All right, let's see. Good. We have shift right where we want it, and we have acid flask if we want to use it. Let's put that there. We're not going to be whacking anything with just a sword when we can be whacking it with a flurry. So if I'm going to be whacking it, I'm going to be whacking it furiously. When there's that many of them, I think, occasionally, that the acid vial is the right call. And movement, attack, and cast speed. One of the things I do like about the game is that they do have weapons and skills and stuff that will drastically change the way things work. Like the Gelcor's Blast Knives being a perfect example. Where they change a skill completely. I have unlocked Puncture. I'll just stand here and murder you all until you all die from it. Sometimes the bad guys just want you to just kill them. I hate these off-screening asshole mobs. No, I could just have run through, but where's the fun in that? You know? No. Fine, we'll run the rest of the way. I am more dexterous and healthy. My shuriken come flying out more often. It would help if, when I'm trying to throw the shuriken, I actually threw the shuriken. I think we'll level up before we get to the toughest boss in the game, as I have heard him called. Melee cold. Armor and health. Looking up where Eagles Dare, Clint, and one other person are the only ones alive from that movie. He's 95, the other's 102. Well, it's got to be what? Like a 67 movie? Something like that? 1967? 68. Old. I mean, old even by lens standards. We're not quite going to get to, unless we go out of our way to seek out additional people, we're not quite going to level. So I'm going to see if I can seek out a couple of additional people just to get me just enough to level. Because the next boss is hard. And the answer is no, I can't. Well, unless somebody, yeah, he came down for a landing. Could be. No, I don't think enough. I don't think he's enough. Not quite. 68 would be a very, very interesting period in American cinema, as with Vietnam going on, you'll also have sort of coming in the new wave of American movie making. So sort of the old school American gung-ho patriotism mixed with more of a realistic view. And you get the realistic view because, in essence, Where Eagles Dare is a movie about spies. And ferreting out a double agent. Which is not a very sort of, historically kind of a heroic thing to be either being one or trying to find one. It doesn't feel very heroic because you're dealing with, dishonesty and treason. Was it Alistair MacLean was the writer of For Eagles Dare? The book, I think. Well, the shuriken are not doing much damage right now. Fortunately, I'm a gamer. Born in 70, so you remember from Jimmy Carter on. Yeah, sounds about right. '76. Dex, health, sure, why not? Oh, up, and that can go away. we now have our spear, which I can't imagine I actually can craft anything onto. It has no forging potential, so no, I cannot. But it has 26 melee damage and 18 melee void damage in addition. Stay safe to the guy who's laying there with like an arrow through his lungs. Born in 70. Oh, you infant, you. You kids today. All right, now our shuriken. Currently doing 81 DPS. 96. I am more dexterous still. I mean, I can remember pretty well some of the sort of transitional moments in American cinema. Because I went from seeing things like, Where Eagles Dare, going to the drive-in with the parents, that kind of thing. But also going to the drive-in and seeing The Wild Bunch would be a perfect example. There were no heroes in The Wild Bunch. Bunch of outlaws, generally speaking, bad guys. And the people chasing them who were really no better. But that movie was incredibly violent for the day. I mean, slow motion people getting shot, blood squirting out slowly as they spin around. And so, I'm watching that as a kid. And yeah, I had never seen or even thought that a movie could be like that. I know my parents saw Bonnie and Clyde. I don't think my brothers and I were invited along on that specific trip for that movie. But again, that was sort of one of the big parts of American cinema growing up, getting out of the post-war sort of movie making into what is a far more modern style. I bet no one here was expecting a discourse on movie making. The American movies of that era. More dex, more dodge. It's just, as going from a kid to, an adolescent. I was growing up alongside the movies. Mind you, I was never a big one for, like, the Disney movies to begin with as a kid. I always found the adult movies more interesting. I found the kid stuff to be boring. I like to think, right or wrong, that that's part and parcel of why I always preferred Warner Brothers to all of the other cartoons that were out there. There's so many of the other cartoons that were out there were for kids. Things like Warner Brothers, sure, Bugs and Daffy and all that, they were for kids, but they were also for the adults. Tarantino has it right with movie ticket prices coming back down to affordable levels. More people are returning to the theaters. It'll be interesting to see how much it can bounce back. I mean, certainly for me, and I know a lot of other people, it's going to the movies is a lot of work. It was a lot easier for that sort of thing to occur when you're going to the mall every week or couple of weeks, right? Because, hey, you've got the theaters there. Right now, where so much stuff is brought to us, Amazon and whatnot, in a lot of ways, people are less likely to go out because they don't have to go out. But certainly I would hate for movies to be reduced to nothing but made for the little screen. That would obviously be a loss. But realistically, there aren't so many movie experiences coming out anymore that are absolutely worth the trip. I saw Lawrence of Arabia as a kid on the big screen. I didn't understand a lot of what was going on, but it had a striking visual sense that, I was in awe of the movie. I think the only filmmaker off the top of my head who's making that kind of feel in movies is Denis Villeneuve. I have not seen Dune in a theater, but the visuals, very, very striking stuff he does. Blade Runner, the Dune movies. I can't remember the name of the movie about aliens. Aliens ship arriving on Earth. Amy Adams. He also did Sicario, but his visual sense, he's doing visual stuff in movies that makes me think of David Lean's, his work. Movies like Bridge on the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia. They always say they don't make them like that anymore. Well, they kind of do. I mean, Denis Villeneuve is making amazing movies. And right now, he can make any science fiction or fantasy movie he wants, and I am totally in support. You want to go see the Cheech and Chong's last movie? and amazingly Sinners is supposed to be freaking great. And the reviews I've seen that were positive have come from pretty diverse sources. From more, conventional critics, and then more of the
I'm sure you have questions, but let me first
click
check and make sure you're
the
safe.
clickorama, the internet, let's say,
Good.
type of critics. It's just supposed to be really, really good. Coogler is turning out to be just an amazing filmmaker too. I mean, obviously he's not doing the same type of visual stuff that Denis Villeneuve is, but it does show that, that in a lot of ways, quality can win out. Back to her. Both Dunes were amazing. We should have gone to an IMAX. Yeah, me too. But I know myself at this point, for me to prime myself off my dead ass to go see a movie, it's going to have to be an event that I'm doing with friends. Because otherwise, I just won't.
Right.
Let's see, where were we? We were here. Nothing else, right? Yeah, nothing else. I don't think we get anything else that I'm aware of until 29. A couple of these probably, yeah, these are earlier than that. And that's 30. Quick peek here. And here, is that Rogue? That, level 30, we'll want to grab that and drop that down here.
A Terra's blessing. Prayers be with you.
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve has my complete confidence now. I would hand him any science fiction or fantasy project with faith that it would be treated respectfully and would be visually stunning. There were parts of Lynch's Dune that I really, really liked. Parts of it were terrific, and then other parts he completely lost the thread. My only complaint about Denis Villeneuve's Dune, I did not like his casting for the Emperor. You compare Christopher Walken's Emperor with oh my God.
Easy. Too easy.
My brain is just not working at all these days anymore. Jose, and then my brain says Feliciano, and no, I know that's not it. Get out. Jose, and then I go Philip Farmer, and I go, no, that's not it. Ferrer, there we are. Mel Ferrer. No, Jose Ferrer. Jose Ferrer, not Mel. Mel Ferrer is another actor. Academy Award winner for Cyrano de Bergerac. His Emperor Shaddam, much better. The entire Imperial Court, much, much better in Lynch's. But that's about like the only nit I can pick. Would you croak, you little wee bastards? The Lynch Dune is definitely more of a mixed bag. As an example of the negative, I will go with they've given a poison to Thufir Hawat, and he has to milk a cat that has a rat duct taped to it every day to get the antidote. What? That's pure Lynch and has really no place at all in it. In fact, it's contrary to the book. In the book, they poison Thufir Hawat so that they can kill him if they choose by simply no longer giving him the daily antidote. It makes sense. It's a mechanism for control, and they don't tell him about it. So that if he were like to escape, he would still die within a relatively short period of time. So, in that case, it makes sense. But the Lynch version? Excuse me, what? I also wasn't a fan, really, of his implementation, Denis Villeneuve's, of Gidi Prime, the Harkonnen homeworld. The black and white thing, the black sun, that all felt unnecessarily artificial. But overall, even though there were a lot of, little things that I wouldn't have done that way, I felt that Villeneuve's visual sense is incredible, and his fidelity to the material, not slavishly, not doing everything the way it was in the book, was in keeping. The same way I felt about Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies. There were a lot of things I didn't like about him, but I felt it was always respectful. And even if it was something I wasn't a fan of, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't the way I would have preferred it. That's not true about his interpretation of The Hobbit, however. Another point here. Yeah, I understand. Thank you. Thanks. How about we put more lightning damage in? Converting the whole thing into lightning? Sure, why not? It's doing a little chunkier bits of damage now. Orion's Pike, is that the same? I know I'm wielding one right now. It looks like it's the exact... No, the one I'm wielding is better. Can I dual wield spears? That's what I want to do. Survey says no. One of the old things we used to do, my friends and I, when we were, waiting for the trailers to start, would be talking about other movies being made out of science fiction and fantasy books and who we would cast. when they were announcing the casting for the first Dune movie, almost every single one, I went, well, that's perfect. There were only a couple I had any doubts about at all. But Villeneuve is now working, I believe, on Dune Messiah. Be interesting to see what he does with that. There was also the Sci-Fi channel did a version of Dune and then Messiah and Children. That isn't bad at all. Says he has 4 movies going. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's the sort of thing that, despite the fact it was a big critical success and a significant commercial success, I could see given the nature of the movie industry, I could see them giving him a hard time trying to get him to do it on the cheap. But like Del Toro, another movie maker who, makes movies along the lines of things I'm likely to want to see, he always has a bunch of projects that he's working on. And they don't all get made by any means. Rendezvous with Rama. Yeah, that one's been talked about. I haven't read that book in a long time.
You're here for the Epoch. Reaching me was impressive, but it's mine. Core member wing.
I'm spearing that poor bird right in the ass. This is not a single target dynamo. Six, 5, 3.
No, Raya.
No, get me out of here.
The evil power if more than that, which, speaking of, get back together. I must reach Lena at once.
I've been rereading Dune lately, and it certainly has me hyped for Dune Awakening, which hopefully I'll get the beta invite to for the 9th. Funcom. Been a loyal customer for a long time, Funcom.
A terror's blessing. Badness be with you.
You hope you get a better invite. You want to try it? Yeah. Well, I think anyone who's even mildly interested in should want to get the invite to at least try it. Vitmon and Fizz. No, oh, I think that one's better. Belt. Well, let's see. One of these two. Crit strike, void resist, and dodge. Fizz damage over time, health regen, and health. Sure, that's actually not bad. Sell them all. Where'd he go? Where's the dude? There's the dude. Not a dude.
Right.
We will take a quick peek. That's swipe. Yeah, that's the swipe glove. Can't remember, did I have a batch here or not? I cleared out a couple of tabs there. You see, I actually do prep work occasionally. I cleared out a couple of tabs. Because they were also loaded down with my crap. 15s, I think, for these, right? Yeah. Did I have any more? Well, looks like I have popped them all open. Jeez, those resists. Those have got to both be 7s, yeah. Jeez. That's some big time resists. I think we will sport those when we hit the appropriate level. 15, right? Yeah. All right, I'm going back into the past. No, sorry, into the distant future. That's right. It's hard to keep them all straight.
He's back. He's been quite...
You're back. Now, not do you going through? I feel that I'm Lena. I'm
all
so
right.
sorry to you too. This is what's best for us all.
Yeah, this is the best for us all. You just keep telling yourself that. You and your silly dragonfly pet. He's gone and I'm gone. I was watching Shroud playing like a week ago, playing Dune Awakening, and he enjoyed it. And he said essentially that if the PvP at the end game is good, the game is going to be
What is this place?
very successful.
I don't seem to have gone far.
If not, it could still, if it's just okay, game will still be good. He's been playing the hell out of what is it? Arc something. It's the other extraction shooter that's coming. Along with Halo. He played Halo, not Halo, Marathon. He played Marathon a bit too. He liked it. But he's really having a blast with the Arc, whatever it is. Can't remember the name. Names and me, man, we just don't get along anymore. And it does look fun. It looks fun, and I wish it had a no PvP version. And apparently I'm not the only person who wants that. Apparently that's been a relatively common request on the Steam boards. Frankly, I'm just not that interested in PvP, but the game itself seems really well done. And one of the things Shroud said that struck me as being right is it reminds him in certain ways of The Division. And I would certainly agree with that. I'm level 10. Yeah, come on, you stupid void despair. Dodge and parry.
That was close.
In other gaming news, today, undoubtedly a fair number of people are disappointed. GTA 5, we actually have a release date now, but it's no longer for this year. It's a year from now, May 26. I never played 5. I played GTA. The old top-down game. The original one. Man, I'm old. I do not remember getting large numbers of spears on other characters. So I may have to do a fair amount of gambling with the gambler when I get to town.
Minimus, run, you stupid one.
They won't forget.
Oh, we've got our first nemesis. This may take a while. Oh, come on. Seriously. I hate that shit about PoE. That every time you open up a goddamn window, you've got to be careful that you don't freaking die. Sure, we'll empower. Because I'm crazy. Oh, you little jerks. Oh my god, everybody and their mom wants a piece of me suddenly. How about we put some dots on him? That's easy. Remember, if GTA will be the first 1 billion development game, I would expect over 500 million. They've also said, and Jason Schreier talked about, given his contacts at the company, that it seems like they're living up to. One of the reasons it's going to be, a year later than they wanted is because they're not doing massive crunch. Apparently, the quality of life inside the company is much, much better now. So that's a plus. Remember when they called crazy for spending $300 million on GTA 5 and it made $10 billion? Yeah. That's the thing that's crazy about Microsoft. Jacking the prices up on all their games and their hardware and everything. $80 games. And they always talk about games are so much more expensive to produce. And that's true. But games make so much more money. If games are 5 times more expensive to produce than they were 10 years ago, and they produce 20 or 50 times as much money, which they do, there's no real reason to raise it that high other than we're Microsoft or Nintendo. What are you going to do? In Microsoft's case, a good chunk, they're probably just saying, we're trying to force people into getting the Game Pass. Kid at work flipped out when I said GTA 6 would be $200 or $20 a month. Yeah. Well, the $20 a month thing, I mean, how many years did I spend $15 a month for at least one game, maybe multiple games? We've got a second thing here we can actually stick some points into. Temporarily, we'll just drop a couple points into Flurry just to give ourselves more damage. I mean, I was spending at least $15 a month on subs for a long time. And for most of that, for large parts of it, I had at least 2 subs going, sometimes more.
Gods be with you.
But I could certainly see them rolling out something like GTA 6 as an MMO with a subscription. He's always pointing out Steam. Tell him that Gabe ain't going to live forever. Yeah, well, as long as they stay private and whoever's taken over from Gabe, feels the same way. And as long as they're printing money. But some vulture capitalist comes in and yeah, that's the end of that. When good profits are no longer enough, you need more than just good profits. Hedge funds. Are disastrous. I need to go this way. Because they are built on deconstruction, not construction. The classic move is to find something that's underpriced. Buy it at the low price, squeeze everything you can out, and then just dump it. Needless to say, that does not make for any sort of long-lived survival, because it's not intended to be. That's why it's vulture capitalism. It's because it's based on, in essence, getting what you can off of the body and then just leaving the remains. That's another level for me. I'm just a leveling machine. Jason Schreier pointed out today, I think, maybe yesterday, talking about Microsoft and their announcement about the $80 games. That, why are people going to pay $80 when the 3 highest, best reviewed games of the year are one of them's $30 and the other 2 are $50? That's Blueprints, which I played here on channel. You can catch the entire playthrough on my YouTube. What was it? Split.
What brings you here?
Future? Something like that. The co-op game, which I watched friends play, and it's endlessly inventive piece of game. And Clair Obscur. I will not be playing Clair Obscur because the gameplay loop, if it was actually completely turn-based, I would be interested in it. But with the reaction-based bullshit, half measure, trying to make it a little bit like a Souls-alike, I have no interest in that at all. I am not now and never have been good at the timing reaction-based gaming. I don't play any of the Souls-alikes. I don't find it fun. I find it only frustrating. And so even though the game looks beautiful and is supposed to be really well written, I won't be playing it. It's not a game for me. That simple. Especially 33 being a twitchy game. I'm a no. Yeah, exactly. Not for me. I'm not interested in it. Everything else in the game would have my interest. Turn-based? Absolutely. I love turn-based gameplay. Looks great. I don't even enjoy watching it. I find the combat incredibly tedious. To watch. It's not tedious to play, because it requires your full attention. I find it boring to watch. Just like I find Souls games boring to watch for exactly the same reason. I just don't find it interesting gameplay. Souls game's been huge for a while. Damn controller people. I do not disagree. It's funny. A lot of the PoE community, they've been playing a lot of Last Epoch and another ARPG the one that's really a spectacularly gorgeous game, and to my mind, far more interesting than PoE 2, and that is No Rest for the Wicked. And they've had their next big patch come out over the last couple of days. Some of the PoE players love it, some of them not that big on it. But regardless, it's the same idea. It's just an ARPG, and it's done as a Souls-alike, and it's beautiful. And I won't be playing it. It's an ARPG. I love the systems around that, but that kind of gameplay, just not for me. Also, I believe it was Ziz said that, he wasn't happy because the keyboard and mouse controls are functional, but they don't really work because the game feels like it's been designed with controller in mind. Just reinstalled No Rest, 30 minutes in, quit again. Yeah, that's just, I mean, it is a spectacularly beautiful piece of game. But I won't buy it because I won't like it. I do not like games that are predicated on die, win. I don't like a gameplay. I think this is purely a me thing, and I have said it before. Those games that are predicated on frustration, success, where the success gives you the whole, dunks your brain in chemicals to make your brain feel good. I don't get that. For me, it's pain, success. Thank God the pain is over. I don't get the joy part. So none of those games are ever going to work for me, and that's why I stopped rating in WoW. I found it more frustrating than fun. I liked the people. I loved the game. But that sort of mechanic and everything, I just didn't like. It wasn't fun. 30 wipes to finish off a boss. That slow progression. I just don't find it rewarding.
Go on then. What? Go on then.
Yeah, idols, I know. Throw me to whip. Let's see, minion damage. Oh, that's a belt. That's not the idols. Increased fizz and increased minion fizz. Lightning resistant. Yeah, okay, we'll go with... Actually, we're not going to go with that one. I want to play V Rising so much, but keyboard sucks. I managed to be okay with the keyboard on V Rising. It took a while, and I think, because they just had a big patch today, so I will be trying it again, maybe on stream. I think I'll be much better at it than I was because of playing WASD in PoE 2. You quit using a controller with Atari and Commodore 64. I bought this like a month ago. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. And I lost connection. Buddy started with a Nintendo. You hated that controller. Well, originally on my Apple II Plus, it was paddles, they were called, and which are basically just a button and a dial, and the dial was just a potentiometer. So you put two of those up and in a joystick, and that's simple joystick control. So joysticks were because the Apple was built with the paddles in mind that had two potentiometers that gave a value between 0 and 255, and two buttons with 0 and 1, which meant you had a full joystick with two buttons. And then I was really, really good with the Sega Genesis controller. That's the last controller I was really, really good with. And, that was purely, digital. Left to up, down, right, or any combination of those. There were no in-between values on that. And I was really good on that, but not for a long time. That was many years ago. When I was young. Okay, I was never really young. At all. This thing's doing 26 and 18. Increased crit chance with Flurry. It's got Dex and Health. We'll keep it. Health, we'll keep it. No, 25. Increased melee attack speed. 2% base crit. Too slow. All right, we're going to sell all of this, and I'm going to grab a couple of idols of an appropriate type out of my vast selection of them. Let's see. Void. Bow damage. I'm not going bow. This makes me sad. Fizz pin, increased void damage. We want void res. I'll try that again. Yeah, we'll grab that. We'll go just with all void resistance all the time right now because we're fighting void critters. That's my logic. We're what, 12? 12. 15 for the gloves. 15 for the gloves. I am hopeful that the amount of time I spent in PoE 2 playing WASD will help with V Rising. But I believe me, I completely do understand. I have found V Rising in my previous play sessions to be frustrating. I think it's likely it will be less frustrating for me now. I'll adjust more quickly. Stop summoning ethereal reflections, you jerk. And I share your frustration with the very common occurrence of playing a PC game that is also has a console implementation, and so the PC implementation is half-assed. The PC UI is bad, the PC UX is bad, because hey, it's close enough. We have to dumb our product down for the console players. At least in terms of user interface and user experience. Although it can be worse. There are those that are PC and mobile, and most of the time those are even worse. I will shout out actually one that's not terrible, and that's Torchlight Infinite. Their PC UI and user interface, it's not great, but it's a mobile game and it's better than most of the console ports we get on PC. And we're going to empower these again. Because why not? All right, next time he'll give us his goodies. Pardon the phrase. Well, we haven't died yet, but our damage is... it's underwhelming. Little slow going. But hey, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Right? All right, we can get ballista now. Yay! That's what we wanted. We wanted some ballista action going on. There's the question, though. Do we want to yoink the points off of Shuriken? I think so. Respec. Despecialize. I did warn you it was going to be the worst build ever. Placement speed per dex. That's probably good. Mana cost. Less duration. Mana cost on that is 44. We currently have 69. Nice. Sorry. It'll last less time. How long does it last? Last 10 seconds. I think less mana cost is probably good. 6 seconds? If I'm still fighting something after 6 seconds. Light bolts, more attack speed. That is more damage multiplicative with other modifiers, but has an additionally shorter duration. Sure, I feel about that. So that's 6 seconds. That would reduce it to 4.5 seconds. But it's doing more damage. What the hell? Let's find out. Let's live and learn, you know? 1,000. 1,000.
Entirely alone. There are people who seek refuge, a means for survival. Even these were once.
That did seem okay. That is a little bit on the short side. Respec, remove point. Bing! Hey, what do you know? We still have it. Fire damage. We're currently doing lightning damage, or we're doing lightning damage with our shuriken. Your damage modifier is reduced at a reduced rate. Fire damage, ignite chance, exploding bolts, rapid fire. What else we got in the way of big nodes on the outside? Explosions base fire damage is converted to cold. Cold damage, huh? Three points there, 1 point there, and we can convert it to cold. Oh, stop respecting. Thank you. How about a little fire, Scarecrow? We're at 13. 13. It hits decently hard. He's coming back. I can hear them laughing out there. They're laughing at me. Critical strike chance. Yes, please. We would like more of that. Wow, they're noisy, aren't they? Maybe they're having a good time. That's probably not it, though. Okay, Fat Buddy, thank you for hanging out. Thank you, as always, for the sub. Take care. Have a kick-ass weekend. Do people still say kick-ass? I have no idea. Don't think we can do that, can we? No, we can't. Didn't think so. Had to check. Melee Fizz, total of 23. That's 26 and 18. Well, that's 200 at 30 and 13. And melee speed, it's better. 44, this is 43, but a lot faster attack. Yep. It's been good knowing you, my friend. All right, it's the three Yutzes. Got one. terrible. Back to town. Ah, the Derby coming to town for Fat Body. Party Central.
Companions, elder life, you please stop him.
Alright. Well, let's see. Health gain per point when you use a skill that costs 0 mana. Which that is still doing.
Elder Panion, I fear
we talked about that.
Him, turning his courage.
Let's see. Poison chance with dagger. No. Dual wielding. No. We're not using daggers. Or a bow. And we're not dual wielding. Don't give us a bunch of awesome options, do ya? Damage taken while moving. Reduction. Haste. We've got 3 more points to spend, and then we will be going into Falconer. Not for the Falcon, but for the other stuff. Didn't you promise me a reward? There's another point. 2 more. We'll pick these up and we'll use them because elemental resistance. Ellie resists. Good.
Gods be with you. Stay safe.
We'll sell all the crap. Drop this off into there. We were 1 level away from being able to use the gloves. Quick check to see if anything else. This will show us anything with level in the teens. Mad Alchemist Ladle, really good, but I don't think so for melee. And no, these, let's see, the current boots are dodge, they got dex, movement speed, those are all pretty good. Evade charge, increased cooldown recovery speed for evade, increased cooldown recovery speed for fury leap, seconds of haste after you use evade, and increased haste effect. Let's try that. This is nothing we would want to use. No and no. It's a ring I technically could use, but I have no real reason to. Minion health, fizz resist, traversal, daggers. Daggers? Nah, give me a spear. Now we're talking. Font of the Erased. Don't think so. Don't think we really want that one. Sad to say. Quicksilver Coil. Haste. Melee attack speed. Since we're not using a second ring presently, I see no downside to that one. That's got a lot of elemental resistances. That'll give us elemental resistances, so we won't have to worry about that for quite some time. Cold resist, freeze rate, cold skills, cold skills, cold skills. Now, I might want to use that once we get the ballista out to being a cold skill. Possibly. $18 for the Cradle of the Erase. That's a shield. What is the erased thing? for rogues. That's level 30. All right. We're not there yet.
Follow your feet.
Find the armory. Find Artem's stash in the upper district. And reach the precipice. The canyon. That is certainly a significant damage increase. The ring gives me a... When I get to the third strike of my flurry, it's a crit guaranteed. Which is a big damage increase. Got a champion. Ooh, ow, ow, ow. I said ow. Like it actually hurt. Alright, we finished him off in good time. Now we're going to go way back in time. To the days of the dinosaurs. Gotta say, so far, not impressed, really, with the ballista. Sad to say. But we do have the third and final iteration on this nemesis. Crack. I would disagree. That did not actually hit me, despite the fact I took the damage. That was bullshit. Give me my fat loot. Not as good. 41 in damage over time. We're at 43, and attack speed is way better. Let's see. Strength, minion damage. I'm immune to slow. Increased damage over time. Prefixes and suffixes. That's the first time it turned it into LP3 random gloves. Evade is replaced by Terrify. More damage to feared enemies. You have swiftness, attack speed, cast speed, chance to slow. You're immune to slow. I don't think I actually want to use those. Well, we can try them. No harm in trying them, at least until these things come online. This is Lightning 2129 Ignite. 9-8. This one's faster attacking because of the attack speed. And this, attack speed, melee damage, melee crit chance. 205% increased melee damage. This may actually be worth using. Currently 652. This makes it 796. I have a really big stick. Don't say it. Okay, so the fear. Interesting. Okay, it's basically, it is a fear. So it's not good for getting, it's not going to be good against bosses. Because it's not going to fear them. I feel safe in saying. But on the other hand, you have much less need to run away if the other guy's running away first. We have another champion. Okay, it does fear them. But they have a diminishing returns on them. That champion only dropped one thing? Seriously? That? He's a champion. He's supposed to drop a champion's item. Dirty, rotten, cheating bastard. He's a dirty, rotten, cheating bastard. And we're in the upper district. We've got to find, like, some dude buried some stuff, man. Terrible voice work here.
Where are you going?
Where are you going? There's level 15. Well, we're gonna... Yeah, I just don't think that Terrify is really a good option. Whereas this, with a melee attack speed and elemental resistance, look at those elemental resistances. They're delightful. They're delicious. They're part of a balanced breakfast. I have a sneeze coming. Sorry about that. Well, we're definitely hitting a lot harder. And that big honking club, which didn't look like it was doing all that much more damage. When we looked at the numbers, it seems like it's doing an awful lot more damage. Looked like it was about a 30% damage increase or the like. Feels like a lot more. Let's see. Yes, this one. Yeah. And this is where we get the amulet. Which I'm just not sure is actually good or not. Probably. Oh, look, a spamming bot. I will take a moment. Oh. Dear engineers at 11th Hour Gaming, please fix your broken ass game system. When I change the setting, the visual settings for the graphics to borderless windowed, fucking keep it that way. It doesn't stay that way between sessions. God fucking damn it. Oh my God, your UI is such crap. Twitch. It's fine. It's fine. They do so much so badly. Just another great case of the winning technology being the first, not the best. All right, we're off to the armory. All right, you guys, come get some. You want to get to my ballista, you come through me. All right, call your big brother, since I've been beating you up. Ding, 16.
Might have to drop something.
Oh, does not fit in inventory. Of course it doesn't. Reach the lower district. Speak with the surviving guard in the armory. It should be over here. Crafting, right.
Grace be with you. Take care of yourself.
We have spent 19 points. We need to spend one more. And that's 20. We'll save the other. Currently, we're using this bad boy. A little bit more attack speed? Sure. I'm okay with that. It had how much? It started with 55 potential? Holy crap. Melee critical strike chant? Yes, please. So now it's way better than what we had. Find the quartermaster. You the quartermaster? I'm the gatekeeper. Yep. All right. Oops. That was impressive. The ziggurat of ruin.
Not happening.
Why are more of those things dying? I mean, not him. He's big. Obviously, he's going to take a while. But there are a whole lot of other things around him that don't seem to be dying quite the way that they should. Oh, God. There are great many types of mobs I find annoying in games, but few more annoying than the ones that may spit out more mobs. Like these jerks. I don't think they're spawn. That's what the champion had to offer. Lovely. Their spawn, I don't think even give XP. So far the build not quite working as well as I'd hoped. Right now I've got a good weapon, but I was wanting to build it around spears. I'm not currently using a spear. And ballista, and the ballista is not very impressive.
Over you.
And then when we get into the falconry, we get the falcon skill, which is cool. That one's good. And then, but shortly after that, we're getting the explosive mine, that's like everything I wanted with spear, explosive mine, and ballista. And so far, the ballista is really underwhelming. Maybe it'll get better with cold. And explosive mines or explosive trap got nerfed because it was really broken at launch. So, I mean, that was an appropriate reaction. We got him. He didn't even drop a single rare item. Cheap bastard.
What's done is done.
I got an idea. Let's go to the end of time.
This is...
You seem a little This is what he might be kind enough to stay safe.
Gold won't save you, but a blade might.
Elemental critical strike chance. That was the one I was using, which was pretty good. So we'll go up and we will choose falconry. Dun, dun, dun.
You've woken. I see you come. If I then close your eyes.
Falconer.
Focus on the potential you wish to wield.
Plus 12 dex, plus 1 falcon melee damage per 4 dex. Using a bow grants increased attack speed, can stack 5 times. All stacks fall off if you haven't recently used a bow attack. 50% increased attack, increased damage while using a bow. Over here you got max shadows, melee fizz, and dodge rating, multiplicative. Okay, falconry is in. Oops, I needed to talk to him a little bit more.
I see that you are still you. That's
I am still me, whether you like it or not.
if our world,
Most people would say not,
really.
Let's see, minion damage, chance to gain haste, health and dodge. I don't remember where we were going to go with that. Falcon and Ballista have additional base chance. Yeah, that's where we were going to go. Because we wanted to try and make something out of our Ballista. So far, I'll be generous, the jury is unconvinced. It's not out. They're in. They're just not convinced yet.
By you, thank you. There is an old passage to the surface. I will dispel the rune that keeps it sealed.
Talk to them.
Do not dwell.
Talk to them. Right, so at 5 more points in this line, we get Explosive Trap, which is the third part of the Trinity I was trying to build this off of. So far, Ballista, not blowing my mind. But I'm going to call it here for the day. I will return back to this tomorrow at the usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand with more Last Epoch, the worst build ever. It's not the worst. It's not great. May never be great or even good, but it's not the worst. It's just, it's a work in progress. That's the most charitable thing I can put in there. But that's my plan for tomorrow, back at the usual time. I hope the rest of your Friday evening goes great, and I hope your weekend kicks ass. And not only do I hope your weekend kicks ass, but I will require a complete detailed report of all of your activities over your kick-ass weekend, first thing Monday morning on my desk. So, have a great rest of your night. Hopefully you'll see me soon.